go. It was way above your head.
Coffee. I gotta have it.
It says Taylor. That's cool. Did she make that?
Man, my wife took us to this thing. Wait a minute. They have a thing, Ronnie. You can, Ronnie. They have
Oh,
a they have a thing, Ronnie. You can go and make ceramics, dude, with your family.
really?
You can go in there and be like, I want to make that. They got a whole shelf of stuff, right? They got pot holders. I mean, vases, cups, plates. You can just go in there and you paint it, and they put it in
All of
the
that?
kiln. Huh?
All of that?
You go in there, yeah. You got your family there. You get to paint, and you do it with your family, and everybody's having a good time, bouncing off the walls, and it's really cool. They put it in the kiln, and you come back the next day, and it's done.
Hey, man, can't beat that.
I think it was $100 for a freaking coffee mug, but
That's like Build-A-Bear, you know? Like $75 for a stuffed bear.
yeah. Can you see this?
I sure can. 10 mistakes. You need to move the camera to the right a little bit. There you go.
Praise God. Praise God. Welcome, class. Before we get started, I got to do a prayer for my class. I got to do a prayer, Ryan. I don't know if you want to join on me for all the food that dear God, please bless us, forgive us for all the food that we are already thinking about we're going to be eating on November for Thanksgiving. God, all that. I rebuke that smoker my brother has. He's going to be making those,
Yep.
making those briskets. God, please. Don't let the fat stick to my body. Let it go right through. You want to add anything, Ronnie?
And just thank you for our family and our time together on this planet together, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please. That food, I don't know what to do, Ronnie. I've been thinking about that brisket.
Yeah, well, I'm going to hook it up for you, man. It's going to be fantastic.
Class, greetings, class. Chris Haskins with the Real Estate Roundup. It's my homecoming weekend. It's Hampton University's homecoming weekend. I got to go out there and represent. Ronnie, thank you. In our mission, in our ministry to raise the financial literacy of my fellow mankind, I always forget to do this at the beginning. Make sure you subscribe to both of our channels. Take a few time. If I can get this thing made to hold it up every time to get my muscles right, you can click a button to subscribe to our channels. My brother,
good morning.
Full-time entrepreneur. Thank you for hanging out with me. Been in the business since the late 1990s. Been buying and selling cars forever. Taking time out of his day to share his knowledge, not only with me, because we barely know each other. We didn't talk to each other for the last 20 years. Now we get to know each other on camera. What up, Ronnie?
What's up, man? How you doing, class? We are happy to be here today. Chris, I am definitely interested in finding out more about your 20 years of real estate investing, and I'm happy to be here to help, man. I always have fun talking to you because, like you said, we don't know each other. Even though we've been brothers all our lives, we've been on separate sides of the planet forever. So this is amazing.
Yes. Class, we're going to get in today. Hey, what's up, Rosanna? G, what up? The kid, hey, happy Friday. Yes, Haskins in the building. We're going to talk about the top 10 mistakes. Not only, well, what happened last night, my brother and I were talking as we do, we get prepared. And I don't know if you know this, guys, but it takes us hours. Every hour you see on the internet, Ronnie, you can vouch for us. It takes hours for us to put this together for you because we love you.
It takes a long time. And then, like, even last night, we were talking about something. We had a specific topic. And then after 25 minutes, we're like, we need to scrap this. We had to start from scratch. Yeah, it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Please put all questions in the box with your city for us to cover today. And if you live in a city that nobody knows where the hell it is, put your state. Put your state. Ronnie, I can't wait to give you my final thoughts, man. Good gracious. I've been. Oh, let me get that book I was telling you about too. I'll be right back.
Okay. Manifesto?
Yeah.
Let's hope you guys are ready for Friday. Friday is here. I like Fridays because it's a time to reflect on what you got accomplished all week. You know what I mean? And going into the weekend thinking about all your accomplishments, whether they be small accomplishments which add up to big things, or you finally landed that big deal is irrelevant. But just Fridays are those types of days for me.
Nice. Let me pull up that app. My brother has us on a new app, Ronnie. I like this app you got us on.
It's called Trello, Trello.
Thank you for putting that together. I really appreciate it.
I
All
got it.
right, let's get, huh?
I got it open too.
Yeah, okay. Let's get right to it. I got my notebook too. I always take notes. You drop some jewels on me, my brother. Drop some jewels on me every time I talk. Helps me to think. Class. Yes, today the top 10 mistakes. Well, what happened last night? We were talking and we were like, we had this topic, as he was saying, right? We had a topic we were going to discuss today. And as we got down to it, we changed it up. I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes in, which added another hour to our information gathering, so to speak. And we came up. We were talking about the issues that we were both having, and it mirrored each other. They mirrored each other, even though we're in completely different businesses.
Yep.
So, yes, we're going to talk about today the top 10 mistakes that we made, so you don't have to. I love to live through other people. Let them take the bullets, so I can just come out swinging after they take all the bullets. That's what I did, Ron.
Hey, I feel you, man. And we wrote them down. It took us a while to get through them, but I'm ready to talk about them because I'm serious about them. Like I made some major mistakes along the way, and if I
Yeah.
could go back in time and change them, maybe somebody else can avoid making the same mistakes.
Yeah. All right, let's get right into it, brother. The first one we got down here was not having a team.
Not building a team, correct.
I like the way you say building. Let me change that. Not building.
Yeah.
That has a whole different twist to it.
Everybody watch Shark Tank or The Profit. If you watch Shark Tank or The Profit, drop Shark in the comments box because if you find people like Marcus Lemonis, he owns all the Camping World companies in the country, and he's also on his own TV show called The Profit. And his systems are people, process, product. Product is like the last thing on the list. It's always about the people because the people lift you up to higher elevation that you would never be able to achieve on your own.
Tell us a little bit about your team, brother, out there. I like to get right to it regarding how it affected your car business, and then I'm going to get into how it has affected my real estate business.
Let's talk about the mistakes I made. Like in the beginning, I wanted to hoard up everything I could do on my own because we're all in it to make money. We're always wanting to make money and make more of it. And money is a bad mistress. Like she's very difficult to deal with. So
You got a romancer.
even then, she's gonna leave you in the end empty. I guarantee it. But so for like 5 to 7 years of my business life in the beginning, I spent doing all the mundane tasks and all the other tasks. I can't use the word. I should retract that word mundane, not mundane, but all the detail work. In my world, that means like title work. If you've ever seen a title before, we have to process title work at the DMV. We have to make sure that paperwork is done properly. And it probably costs me around $1,500 a month in order to have that done properly, to have an assistant take care of it. But for so long, I didn't want to release the 1,500 into the world. I was like, I want to make it all. So I'll go spend the time in it. And it took me years to realize that I was losing $10,000 every month because I was spending my time doing that particular task instead of growing a team around me that will propel me to heights that I couldn't achieve on my own.
Yeah.
Make any sense?
Yeah. So were you trying to do I guess we were talking about yesterday, what are you worth? Like I know a real estate investor is worth X amount of dollars an hour as opposed to a $12 or $13 hour task that could be subbed out and you can buy your time back.
Correct. Absolutely. And there's lots and lots of tasks around my office that need to be done. Marketing, detail stuff, emails, all kinds of different things that you want to be a master of. But remember, we did a video a while back. It was like you should know a lot about a little, know a little about a lot of things, but you can't master them all. You can't do them all. And what I also found out, Chris, was I have different strengths. Like my strengths aren't the task oriented things. I have a different strength, and so I have to hire people around me that are better in places that I am weak. And so I make myself better by putting people that are strong in places that I'm weak.
That was one of our top 10s. I'll go ahead and put that up here too. I'll put knowing
your weaknesses. Yeah, we don't have to admit it. We got weaknesses. You know, it's best to just identify them so that you can understand them. I mean, it don't mean that you're a weak person. It just means, hey, you're not good at follow-up. But John is, and John wants to be a part of your team.
Yeah. Let me get to okay. So I'll get to the knowing your strengths secondly. Second. I don't like using secondly. Okay. Not building your team. In real estate, your team, oh my God, you have to have not only with the contractor, I mean, it is so crucially important. Your contractor, has been said, that is your right arm. You got to have I've gone through probably 30 or 40 of them in my career.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, having a good contractor is literally the difference between passing or failing. It is the difference between passing or failing in this business.
Wow, really?
Oh my God, yeah, they're gonna rob your money. That's another training. But title company or attorney. I remember starting out, probably my first 5 years in business, Ronnie. I went through about a dozen different title companies, and I didn't understand the fact that not all title companies or attorneys are created equal, if you will. Like the creative stuff that we do, all attorneys won't do. Like the subject twos and the lease options and the owner finance, they just don't want nothing to do with it.
Okay.
So the team that I had to put together, it took me time going through people 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Jim Rohn says, Ronnie, the numbers just can't lie. How many people have you been through? How many times have you tried this in order for you to get to that one that works? So now I've got a title company and attorneys that I use that I know that they're going to get the job done. Oh man, no problems. Matter of fact, sometimes they'll go to the seller's house and close the deal.
Wow. That's fantastic. Yeah, I've had a house closing at my house with a closer. Yeah, nice. I've experienced that.
But not all title companies or attorneys are equipped to do that, you know?
Yeah, so you just had to go through them. And, you know, just because we're talking about building a team, I think that's a good thing to point out. It's like if you're the mistakes we made, you know, you just said it 30 or 40 different times. You kept going and going and going until that team fit. I've experienced that too, you know, with my salespeople, with my detailers, with my mechanics, with certain people at different banks, you know, whatever the case may be. You're right. You can't just stop. You got to keep on digging and keep on molding your piece of clay, you know?
I like the way you said building. Yeah. So it's kind of like, you know what I see? Sometimes we can get frustrated when we hit that roadblock. Even today, you know what, man? I just came from a bad one. Maybe you sensed that when I talked to you earlier.
I did sense it. I was like, what's wrong with you?
You know what? Termite guy. You need a good unless you live in Minnesota. You got termites out there, Ronnie?
I don't think so, bro. Don't bring them out here when you come for Thanksgiving.
So when I was in Minnesota, and both of us lived there, termites don't exist in Minnesota, right? But out here in the majority of our country, termites can eat your house down to the ground, you know? So the guy did a termite inspection on the house that I just bought. And what ended up happening, Ronnie, is he gave me a clear letter, but we pulled the floor and we had to pull every single floor out of the house because every floor was rotten and I didn't know. It was going to cost me another $6,000, right?
Yeah.
So I called him screaming, and today we had a big argument. And then ultimately I found out that he couldn't have been able to tell because it was covered up. So I had to call him and apologize. But I've gone through about 10 different termite inspectors because of that same reason. They'll come do an inspection and you know they'll miss something, and then I have to end up paying more money to get it fixed.
You know what? That's great. I love that you've worked through that. Now, did you have a further conversation with the termite guy?
You know, we ended up arguing with each other on site. An hour later, I called him up. I said, you know what, brother? I was listening. Louis Farrakhan kept saying, "There's nothing wrong with telling somebody you made a mistake." I'm like, "I'm so sorry, Hayward. I'm sorry. Can you please forgive me? I made a mistake. It wasn't your fault. I take all. I'm like trying to taking all the responsibility on myself." And he forgave me. You know.
That's a wonderful thing. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah.
It's tough to do.
So,
You learn it
huh?
over. It's tough,
Wait,
but you learn it over time.
yeah. Well, we were talking about building. I've gone through 10 different termite guys, Ryan. It takes time to do that.
Well, I'll tell you, it takes stories sell and facts tell. And I know you guys enjoy what he puts on the whiteboard, but I try to put stories behind it. Like in the car business, it's a linchpin for me. When you come pick up your car, it's already been in the mechanic, and I'm like, here's your car. It's checked out. It's fine. The last thing I want to have happen is you call me 2 days later and say, hey, the brakes aren't working.
Oh
So
wow.
I had to build that team over and over and over again until I have a team around me that is top notch. And so some of the lessons I learned were spend a little bit more money, get a little bit better service. Don't always try to go to the bottom cheapest thing. Those are
Yeah.
lessons I hope you don't have to learn the hard way. But you know what? I did it already the hard way. So hopefully you can take my advice and just spend a little bit more. You don't have to spend the top dollar, but spend a little bit more. If it feels cheap, you're probably going to get cheap. So, I've had to go through some mechanics, man. But I'm happy to say I have several nice companies that I'm aligned with that do a great job. And when they fall down, they pick it right back up. They're like, oh, we missed that. We'll take care of it, Ronnie. I'm like, great, take care of it. Because
So they're warranting the work, basically.
yeah, they warranty the work.
That's
Yep,
good. Thanks for coming out. Okay. Well, building your team, yes, Ronnie. The mistakes I made, trying to use the wrong people. This team. I guess the word team. Somebody that's going to be on your side, as opposed to perhaps using a mechanic is going to do the work, and then you call him to get it done. You don't want to use that guy that's not going to back his work up.
absolutely, man. You want to build a team. You want people that are rooting for you, cheering for you. They're vested. They're stakeholders in your game. Like they know that when you go bid on a house, they're going to get some work. And so they want to work hard to make sure you're happy. That's what you want.
So knowing your strengths, how long did it take for you to say, you know what, I gotta take myself out of this and put somebody else in here because I just can't do that.
Oh my Lord, look at me in my chair right now. Like I thought I was Superman. I thought I could do it all, and the bottom line was, guys, I didn't want to take this out, and so it's a mistake. I'm telling you right now, it's a mistake. Take this out. Take your wallet out because you can build a team around you that'll get you more profit a lot faster than you on your own. And learning to let go, Chris, that somebody else could actually do a job better than me. I'm in some aspect of my business, I'm still learning that lesson. But 20 years in, I'm still learning it. But like there's other aspects of it that I won't even touch anymore because I know I'm weak. I'm weak at that particular aspect. And Judy is way better. So
Gotcha.
pull your wallet out.
Yeah, I've got people that like for bookkeeping for me. Bookkeeping
Yeah.
is just like I would rather just go drink a bottle of acid. It's like going to. I can't stand it, dude. I cannot stand a book because it has no. It's just anyway.
Class, if you are doing TurboTax, you're trying to run a business, you're trying to take care of your family, and you need to do TurboTax this weekend, you are wrong. You are failing, and you're going to get audited and go to jail. So basically, save yourself a lot of time. I think, you know what, though, Chris? So I'm going to be honest with you guys. My first year in business, I tried to do it all. Ended up with a $10,000 tax bill April the next year and had to, they don't, they don't work like banks, guys. The IRS is like, when are you paying us? So it's not like you can set up terms or file bankruptcy or nothing like that. But that was my first year. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta pay y'all. And they're like, yeah, right now. And so the next year I had an accountant and I've been buttoned up ever since. Ever since, man. Quarterly taxes, payroll taxes, you name it. She's awesome. She texted me today. She's coming to my office to go over financials on Tuesday. And it's a lovely thing when she comes in. So,
Good.
yeah, if you don't learn anything else today, guys, get yourself an accountant.
You know what? I want to just let my viewers know that Monday I will be interviewing my accountants. And if you have any questions that you would like for me to ask my personal accountant, my CPA, make sure you can put them here. Or, matter of fact, no. Email me any questions that you would like for me to ask my accountant when I go to her office. I couldn't get her to go live, Ronnie. You know, those type of personalities are not really spontaneous, if you will.
They're introverts.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like, when I first asked her, she's like, I don't know about that. She wasn't even cool with it, but I got her to at least let me record her.
Okay. And then that's fantastic.
Okay, so knowing your strength. Yeah, my strength is putting the deal together. And you have, Ronnie, I admire about you, dude. You have a high level of vision for things where you can see where the vision for the future of a project, you know, where I'm kind of like in the trenches crunching down the moving parts of how it's supposed to work. I'm fascinated with that.
I actually think that makes us a good team because, you got to have the different aspects working together.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. But yeah, I think your strengths are amazing too. I don't have the patience to do what you do. I just don't have that type of patience. I can't crunch numbers. I have to. You're right. I'm big picture. Let's go get it. If we come up short, I'll rearrange and we'll get there eventually. But crunching numbers is not my thing.
Well, not only numbers, with numbers but I'm good with the moving parts and how we're gonna. But you know, and you're pulling that together too for the vision that we have for our channel. All right, next one we had, Ronnie, was under capitalization.
Money. Money, which is what you work on all the time, right? You said in your video before, you're either looking for sellers or you're looking for money. Those two things is what you're doing every day of your life, right?
I am, Ronnie, every day. I'm either looking for product or financing. Product or money. And I didn't create this. This is all from my mentor, Greg Pinio. Real estate investors are either looking for product or we're looking for money.
Okay.
And the good thing about capital, Ronnie, is we have to change the way we think and feel and interact with money, because money, the way I was taught as a new investor, let's picture we're inside of the grocery store, right?
Okay.
We have to get milk, eggs, cheese, veggies, and we got to get something for dessert or some sugar.
All right.
You're walking down the aisle, you look on the shelf, you see a big old bag of money. Money, class, simply has a price. It simply has a price. And you can pull it right off the shelf. Literally, you can pull it off the shelf and pay interest on it to use other people's money. It is just remarkable how money works. You know, it's really fascinating when you think about it. Using other people's money and just paying them a fee to use the money that's sitting on the shelf.
It's done every day at every bank in America.
And they're even loaning out money that's not even there. They're loaning out derivatives, which that's another class. Under capitalization. So we need to always make sure, and that's why I failed when I first started. I don't know if you know, but I got 3 or 4 foreclosures on my record. I'm just being honest. You know, I want people to know that I've made mistakes too. Buying properties, not having capital for repairs, buying properties back before the crash, bad loans, bunch of repairs. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Can't maintain it.
You get experience from learning lessons. They're either going to cost you money or time, or both.
So tell me about yours. When starting out, did you have an undercapitalization issue?
Yeah, man. I mean, like in the car industry, it takes, in order to run a good dealership, it takes a lot of money, a lot of liquid money. And so when you're talking about liquidity, I mean money that can leave your checking account for 2 or 3 weeks without you worrying about it. Like, so you're paying off $100,000 car and that check goes to the bank. It sits there for 2 or 3 weeks until it clears, and then you get a title later. And so you have to have heavy capitalization in this type of a business in order to maintain an ongoing business. So I align myself with people to help myself out. I just didn't have that type of capital up front. but I understood it. And so I think that what you're talking about when you say undercapitalization, I go back to Shark Tank again. It's knowing your numbers. Like if you don't know your own numbers of your own business model, you're a sinking ship. You just have to. Your tax liabilities, all these different things. It all comes back to capital and money. And so if you don't know your numbers, you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Nice. And if you have any questions that you want us to answer immediately, just use the super chat. Since we do this for free, we will take your question immediately and put it on air. So under capitalization line, not looking for money. You know what I find in my industry? People are scared to go and ask an ordinary person, and I'm going to give them a way today that will take all the fear away. I'm going to give you a line today, class, that you can use when you're going out. Like for me, I just ask. Well, matter of fact, it's crazy because people now call me to use their money. But when you're looking for money, I'm going to give you a line to ask. Here's my line that I'm going to give you real quick. As opposed to asking somebody, hey, do you have any capital to invest in a real estate transaction, or do you have any money that you want to invest with me?
Okay.
To take all the fear off and all the pressure off, I just learned this from my boy Scott Jelinek. Take them out of the equation. We're going to take the person you're asking out of the equation. This is going to be worth the price of admission here today, class. Good gracious. When you ask anybody for money, hey, Miss Smith, I was curious, do you know anybody that might want to get 8 to 10% secured by real estate? Do you know anybody that has some investment capital they might want to get working in real estate with?
That's good.
So when you ask the person, they're either going to put the cap on themselves, right? Or they can refer you to somebody else. So you're not stressing that relationship, which I have done that too, Ronnie.
Oh, you've been wearing that cologne they call Desperation? Yeah. Wow, that's a great term. I mean, so you're basically removing them from the equation. You're talking to them about an investment opportunity. Now it's more like, it sounds to me like an opportunity. Like, who would like an opportunity to make 10%? And so I'm like, wow, Chris, why didn't you think of me? I got 50,000 right now, Well, I didn't want to stay in that relationship, Ronnie. Thanks, Chris.
That way they can just say, you know what? Nah, I don't know anybody. That way you can keep having a beer with them, or you can keep saying hi as opposed to feeling all funny. You didn't give me that money. Your neighbors, they're not worth anything. They won't lend you money.
I got a story for undercapitalization, man. We all went through the crash. I don't know the age of everybody in the chat room, but the market crashed in 08. Like, I bought a house in 08 when I thought the market was at its lowest, and then it went lower. But I had several buddies in my industry that went out of business because, let me tell you what happened. Like, let's say out in your car lot, you had like $1 million in inventory, right? One day, like, it happened all in one day. The banks called and were like, we want our money now.
Oh,
Like,
my Lord.
Yeah, typically in our industry, you can have a line of credit. It's called a floor plan. So you can have all these cars floating, waiting for you to sell them. And then once they sell, you pay them off. And it's a low interest thing. But when the market crashed and it constricted, they were wanting their money right up front, man. They were coming and towing cars off people's lots because they didn't have it. Think about it, Chris. The market dried up. The banks wanted all the money. And guess what happened to the value of the cars overnight? They all went down.
Wow.
So a car you had 10 grand in cash in that was worth like 10 Monday. The next day was worth 7, and the bank wanted their 10.
Oh,
So
my Lord.
you went from having $2 million in inventory to having $600,000 worth of inventory, but still having to pay $1 million in inventory. Yeah. It was crazy. So a bunch of people just completely shut their doors.
I saw that.
And you can chalk it up, guys. I mean, those are mistakes we can all talk about around the campfire, how difficult that is. But what are you going to do about it? Let's focus on solutions. When you're building your business, let's not get yourself into that type of a situation. You have to try and forecast what's the worst thing that can happen to you. I love what Chris says when you go knock on somebody's door. What's the worst thing that can happen to you? Somebody posted in the comments. It always makes me laugh. Chris says, They can kill you. But anyhow,
They probably won't.
try to forecast your numbers over 12-month periods and things of that nature and get your mind conditioned to thinking about money at a different level. And so that when the problems come up, they're easier to handle.
As you're talking, I'm looking at you're bleeding into or you're segueing into the topics that we had, Ronnie. So I'm just going to keep going on what you're saying there, brother.
Sounds good.
Solution-based conversation. I didn't have. I was problem-based conversation when I started. My problem was I was broke. Well, was I broke? Yeah, probably at that time. My problem was kept focusing on me. The problem was I need to get this money from me so I can pay my bills. We need to focus on solution-based conversation. We talked about that last night, Ryan.
Yeah, man. I mean, negative energy, any astrologists out there, negative energy is a black hole. And so I find myself talking about a bad deal for 8 hours. Like you can talk about it over and over and over and over again. We're so bad, sorry that happened. But if you can condition yourself into, yep, that's a problem. What are the actual solutions? Well, let's move on. Let's look at the solutions instead of the problem. Your life just seems to change. You notice that, Chris?
Yeah, I did. I noticed that too, Ronnie. It's like when you think about the solution, you don't even focus on the negative stuff. And it's weird. It's attractive too. I was talking to somebody today. Confidence and focusing on fixing stuff, people like it, Ronnie.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be, we all have problems, guys. All of us. It's not just what we're talking about. We all have problems every day. And I'm going back to Shark Tank again, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. He's like, poo-poo happens. He's like, oh, you lost 100 grand? Okay, what are we gonna do about it? I love his attitude. His attitude is inspiring because it's like, yeah, that crap's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, man. You're gonna fall down and hurt yourself.
Gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I learned about solution-based conversation when I was in a network marketing company. People always try to throw out the negative stuff, especially with real estate. Everybody always thinks, well, what if I can't do the house and the lender wants to take the house? The lender comes back and takes the house. Worst thing is you lose the house. It's like it's not the end of the world to lose a property.
I lost a deal this week. I bought a car in Tennessee, shipped it all the way here to Colorado, went through the car, got everything ready. The client's like, I don't like it. I'm like, all right, man. Now, he's so happy with me. He gave me all of these today. He came by my office today and was like, man, you're doing a good job for me. I know I didn't like that car, but, just think about it. He did that today, this morning, man. And it's like, he's a great guy, but like.
Why didn't he like it?
Huh?
Why didn't he like the car?
It just didn't fit exactly what he wanted. But, just think about if I would have focused on the negative. Oh, man, I'm never going to find what you want. I'm never going to be able to do it right. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Yeah. And so we just said, all right, man, I know you don't like that one. Poo-poo happens. I might lose money on the car, but whatever. The point is to continue focusing on the solution. I said, hey, Barry, let's sit down and talk about it. Let's figure out what else we can do to get you what you need. And so he liked that attitude so much. He called me last night, and then he just showed up in my office this morning. I was like, wow. This is like $100 in stuff, dude. $20 to Domino's, $75 to noodles. He just threw this on my desk. He's like, take your kid. Yeah, man. I mean, I think you're right. People like the positive, confident attitude. But
nice. All right.
Story.
All right, the next one we talked about, Ronnie, was a good one. Tapping into our subconscious mind. We didn't tap into our subconscious mind.
I love it, man. It took me, and I will share with you, class, your coach, Chris Haskins, taught me some of this stuff a long time ago. I used to call my brother, and the way you see him on camera is pretty much the way he is. Like, I call him and be like, Chris, how's your day going? I'm doing fantastic. And then after like years of that, I was like, why are you doing fantastic? What's wrong with you? I'm like, what is your problem? And he's like, well, I'm breathing air and I'm alive. Everything else I get today is gravy. I'm like, ah, you're right. And so I had to learn that. So I break my doing good. This is on topic, Chris, but like my kids are healthy, my wife's happy, I'm standing up. If I make money or not today, I'm blessed, highly favored. The world is moving in my direction. So don't focus on the negative money and we're not making it. We're going to lose this deal. You already have been blessed this morning. So get up and own it and take ownership of it.
What Jake says, we gotta, and I had to remind myself today when I was screaming at this termite guy, focus on what you do have and not what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. Even if you only got one arm, at least you got another one.
Give me because I have my subconscious story. Give me a subconscious story from your life.
Yeah, I want to hear your. Yeah, it's cool. Well, Earl Nightingale says the subconscious mind. You know, the creator of the universe works in mysterious ways. Just like he flung the earth goes around the earth goes around the sun.
Mm,
Yeah, goes around the sun. It's so perfectly because it uh, cosmic energy and it's hypnotic rhythm and this whole thing that's all set in place and it likes to communicate with us when we're on downtime. It can't communicate with us when we're all doing this and active on the battlefield, right? No wars are put together on the battlefield. They're all put together or they're strategized in the tent with the generals where it's
right,
quiet, all the little stuff creeping around, the little small ideas and electrical. So for me, this my subconscious mind works the best when I just drop stuff. I go to the movies. It's amazing. I'll come out of that movie like, damn, I need to do this, this, and this. And before I'm like going to, I'm so frustrated because I got so much. I guess it's white noise or just bad energy coming in my head that I can't process it.
yeah,
So as I got older, I'm like, I need to figure out a way that I can just take myself out of everything. I need to get out of it because Earl Nightingale says your subconscious mind likes to talk to you when you're not thinking about it. Your subconscious mind bubbles up. It bubbles up when you least expect it. So I go to the movies, Ronnie, and I come out, I'm good to go. So that's how I tap into my subconscious mind. Very powerful for me.
well, just think about the first person that invented a wheel. I mean, they probably had a square. They're trying to get it to roll. They couldn't do it, and so they had to sit down and think, which I believe is a lost art. Critical thinking,
Yep.
understanding, letting the answers come to you. Like if you ever watch basketball with Michael Jordan, they used to love the way he let the game come to him, and then he acted upon it. But it also sounds kind of spooky because like this week I was telling you, I went to bed thinking about a problem and what solutions I could get for that problem. And I'm not kidding you, I dreamed about the solution. And when I got up the next day, I made the phone calls and put action behind it, and then the deal worked out.
Nice.
But that happens quite often. If you just be quiet, it's like in the Bible, be still and know I'm God. Just
Oh,
like be still. You can't. I think that we were on this topic about pushing. Like you're trying to grow your new real estate business, guys. I know you got a lot of real estate people in your chat room, but sometimes you're going to feel like you're pushing against a brick wall and you can't get any further. And you have to be at peace in order to let the answers come to you.
yeah. You know what? And another thing, Napoleon Hill says, Ronnie, who are we to discount or to doubt? The master architect gave us the brain. Why can't we let it work? As opposed to we're always looking for an answer outside. Why can't we let the creator work for us? He gave us the brain to do it.
You're not always going to have the right answer, but I tell you what, man, thinking through your problems by focusing on the solutions
Yeah, man.
give you answers. It will.
I like that. All right, subconscious mind. I think this is you know what, Ronnie? You gotta believe that too. Some people are like, I don't believe that subconscious crap. You gotta believe this stuff for it to work.
The best football game I ever had. I played in a football game in Glenwood Springs, 2001, somewhere around there, 2000, 2001. I was a wide receiver. And on the way to the game, I'm visualizing. And I was really quiet the whole way up. I was visualizing all the plays. We had a band on my arm, had like 50 plays on it. And I had to memorize them. And I was just going through it in my mind, how I was going to perform. visualizing where I was going to be during that game. And that game, I got 4 touchdowns,
Wow.
201 yards receiving, and I got it on defense and got a pick. It was a crazy day. I mean, it was like the best game I ever had. And the coach asked me before the game, which is like giving it, putting it in the year. He goes, Haskins, what kind of game you going to have? I was like, best game of my life. I'm ready. And it was like, you put it out there. And that goes back to what you used to talk to me about. It's like, sometimes, guys, you have to just tell yourself you're doing good.
That goes into our next one too. Positive mental state. Not what we talked about last night. We were talking about we didn't have a starting out in your business. You have to constantly remind yourself that you must choose. That's right. Let me add that in there.
Choose to be happy.
Choose a positive, not only happy, but choose a positive mental state. That's why I was getting to the book we talked about last night.
That was powerful when you brought that up. Read that excerpt.
Yeah, man, this is crazy, class. This is going to blow you away. Oh, this is a book I'm reading amongst many of them. I'm reading Getting to a Yes, and this is the Motivation Manifesto. Good books, but it's very eloquently written. The words are put together. A hallmark of those who achieve greatness is the discovery that they can control the level of motivation they feel by better directing their own thoughts. This is true for any other emotional breakthroughs as well. Enlightenment comes when we realize happiness is a choice, sadness is a choice, anger is a choice, love is a choice. Wow.
Yeah.
Every state, emotion, mood available to mankind can be generated at will with our mind. Generated at will. Ooh, good.
You have to reach the Star Trek Spock level of volcanism. I mean, when you first watch Star Trek, you're like, they're crazy. But actually, they're the most powerful people in the entire universe because they don't get crazy and pissed off. They're just like, they stay focused. It's like, oh my goodness, man. Now, class, I have not achieved that level of volcanism, but it is a constant work. I'm very excitable, but yeah, man, knowing that the one thing I mastered was claiming and owning my own happiness. Like nobody's going to make me happy. No thing is going to make me happy. I have to get up every day and choose. Yep, I'm feeling real good. I can do it today, and that's just a daily reinforcement.
Yeah, it was the realization that I know. Anyway, it has been told to me that people have said I can't control my emotions. If I get mad, I'm getting mad. I'm gonna let you know. And huh?
I've said that, like, I've had people say to me, "Oh, you make me so mad, Ronnie." I'm like, "You are choosing to be mad. I am not making you do anything," which incensed them even more.
It does. That would make me. I would get pissed if I heard that. I'd be like,
my wife. I'm like, I didn't make you do that.
Oh my goodness.
It didn't work out so well, class. But the point is, it's for you. It's for you to control when you are thinking, "Oh, you're making me so mad." When you're doing business deals and the things aren't going your way, and you're like, once you learn to claim ownership over your actions and your emotions, you can direct your financial future a lot better because you stop blaming everybody else for the issues. And that's very attractive to people that want to do business with you because you're not blaming them because the termite guy didn't show up. You're not blaming them for this. You're learning to own it on your own.
Yeah.
And it makes you super powerful.
Owning it, yeah. Owning it. You know what, though, Ronnie? It's okay for you to not to be right. I'm reading another book, man. What is the name of this book? And the book is saying it's okay for you to not be right all the time. Let somebody else be right sometimes. You don't have to put all your whatever. If you think somebody's wrong, you can just let them be wrong.
We are not talking about this stuff so that we can all go around the world and tell everybody how to do things. That's for our dad, which if you guys tune in a couple of weeks, you're going to see a whole different side of this class because we're bringing in Rohn Sr. It's going to be a trip. So the thing is, it's not like we're not trying to be right all the time. I mean, I don't even want to be right all the time. I think the world works and revolves so much better when people get to contribute. And you notice that their ideas are just a little bit better than yours. It goes back to that topic on the board, knowing your weaknesses, having other people around you that are stronger. You don't need to be right all the time.
I think that was positivity too. Let somebody else be right. All right, let's keep it moving. You were saying last night, Ronnie, you had a situation where you were very positive about something, and the guy wasn't going to buy a car, but he ended up buying a car.
I've had so
Remember?
many positive attitude things, man. I think that people just they underestimate the power of positivity. You know, we've all been in that room when that person walks in. I was just looking at this the other day. They were like, "Do you light up the room when you walk in, or do you light up the room when you leave?"
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, yeah. So you should think about that. You know, do you light it? Are people happy you're there? Or are they happy you leave it? You know, but we've all been in that room where that person comes in, or you've been looking at maybe I want to buy this, and that one person talks to you and they're so positive. You like, I gotta buy this from them. You know,
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, I mean, I've had many, many different times where just being positive was the one thing that moved the deal to the next level. It
nice,
wasn't price, it wasn't product, it was attitude.
nice. Attitude is. Oh my goodness, attitude is so important with this, especially when you're not seeing your results that you want.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, that's right. What I know, I didn't do this. Asking for the sale.
Oh my goodness. ABC? Who can put that in the chat box? What's that stand for in your world? ABC.
Always be closing.
It could also be always be creating. I've seen that one recently.
Always be creating. I like that. Yeah, that's what we're doing now. Right? You know what's weird?
I can't take credit of that. That's a YouTuber named Robert Blake. Roberto Blake. I'm sorry. Roberto Blake. Always be creating. That's his term.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're instead of trying to extract from the marketplace, we're actually creating opportunity for the marketplace. I love it. Marketplace.
Yeah.
All right, not asking for the sale. Tell us about how you did that or how you weren't doing that at the beginning. For
Well,
new mistakes for new entrepreneurs, business owners.
for new entrepreneurs, asking for the business is probably one of the biggest things you can do. You know, like, and it's a mistake that I made many, many, many times. You know, when I first got into the car business, I became a product knowledge master. You know, I could tell you everything about the car, how much fuel it hold down to the liter. You know, how long it took to get to 60 miles an hour. What was the braking distance? I would tell you from 60 miles an hour to zero, how many feet it would take to break that car down to zero. It was crazy, right? And I thought that I could enthrall you with all of my knowledge. So obviously you're going to buy from me, right?
Mm.
But it took years to realize that, hey, you know, I want your business. Will you please do business with me? And what does that take? And then the magic thing, Chris, after you ask, what are you supposed to do?
Please
No,
present the offer.
and shut up. You know, it's
Oh,
like the talking aspect of it is crazy. Like, you can't just keep talking about a sale. You know, you've got to present your product, your unique value proposition or USP, selling proposition, and be quiet. You know, let them process and think instead of trying to talk them all the way to the Holy Grail.
yeah, being quiet is a beast of a strategy, dude. I love it. You know what? That's a strategy in itself. Being quiet. I love being quiet with homeowners, dude. I go in there and we talk, and then I just shut up, look around a little bit.
It's called a mental appraisal. You just go touch the crack in the door. Don't even say nothing about it.
When stuff gets quiet, dude, I love it, Ronnie, because it just makes that tension just start to just go like this. It just goes up and up and up, and they're like, "What is this dude thinking?"
Is that like your videos when you got that music going?
Oh yeah, the music in the back. But
Yeah,
asking for the sale. So in the real estate business, you get two sales: to buy the house and to get the money. You know, you got these two wheels. If you could just imagine two wheels in real estate cranking all the time. And I don't mind answering any. I've changed it, Ronnie. I'm gonna answer any real estate questions you got today.
that's
Real
fine.
estate it goes cranking out houses and you got cranking out money. That's it. So you have to ask for the sale. With you, if you want somebody to sell you their property, you got to get down to the numbers And the best way to do that I have found is to be the bad guy, just kind of write it down on paper so you can let the paper or the calculator be the bad guy.
Okay.
So yeah, but we were talking yesterday, building rapport. You got to get out of that rapport because you can stay there all day and talk to somebody about nothing, right?
Oh my goodness, that is like, all right, you're talking about the circle of trust. I'll talk about it briefly, but and that's a mistake. Like we feel the need to be connected, right? So when you're talking to somebody about buying a house or buying a car or selling your pajamas, whatever the case is, you end up talking to them for a period of time, which you create a circle of trust, and you get in that circle of trust, right?
How
But
do you get out of it?
I find salespeople have a difficult time getting out of it. Like I've seen salespeople at the dealership for 8 hours or 6 hours just sitting there talking about golf and green acres and whatever the case may be, but very little is moving the sale forward.
Yeah.
So at some point you have to push yourself out of that circle and say, guys, this is great. In order to get this deal done, I'm going to need some money right now.
Wow. You practiced that. That looks like you have really mastered that one, brother.
My face looked very intimidating, but then you can go back into the circle, guys. You can get right back in. You have to ask those questions though. You can't just be wrapped in the level of comfort at all times. You have to, as a salesperson or someone selling something, ask for money, and so that was a major mistake I made for many years. Many years I would build that comfort zone and I had a very difficult time getting out of it. And so eventually the people were like, we got to go, Ronnie. We're out of time. I'm like, all right, man. It's nice talking to y'all, but
Wow.
nobody asked for the business.
Holy cow. That's terrible, brother. Well, I try to put it off on a higher power every time before I ask for the sale or when I'm getting ready to just take a bat and just smack them in the stomach with the low ball offer that I'm getting ready to drop on them.
Like your
I always
subscribe
tell them,
brick.
huh?
Like your subscribe brick.
Yeah, I dropped the brick on them. So I try to use the higher power technique when I'm getting ready to drop the low offer. I always tell them, listen, Miss Smith, obviously they want $1 million for the house and it's worth 40, right? So I'm not able to pay top dollar for houses, Miss Smith, and feed my family. My wife likes to spend money.
She does.
Oh yeah, brother. So I put it on a higher power. I'm like, Miss Smith, I would so much love to give you $1 million, but I can't feed my family by paying full price for houses. I've got to make a profit somewhere. And it's nothing. I really found out that people want to see you make money if you coming in and helping them. They don't even mind paying you.
I think you're right. I got a guy right now that wants 24.5 for his Cadillac and it's worth 22. Well, guess what? I can't make it worth any more money.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people shy away from that. They're like, I don't want to talk to Mr. Smith because I can't give him what he wants. It's not about giving them everything they want. It's about just making your offer.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
man, I got 22. What do you want to do?
There you go. Put it. Well, we put it in.
Yeah, I mean, negotiating it's not a manipulation game. You don't want to manipulate people, but you've got to be strong enough and confident in your own research ability, your own expertise to know that you are correct.
Yeah, negotiating is just coming to an agreement. I'm glad you mentioned that, brother. That's a good idea. I'm gonna do a whole negotiating. Let me get my pen.
Yeah, you guys might find it hard to believe, but I haven't really negotiated a car deal in over 10 years. Like I don't negotiate prices very often at all. It's more about what I can deliver them than what the price is. The price has to matter. Don't get me wrong. The price matters, but it's not the number one thing on the list.
That's a good one, Ron. Maybe we'll do a negotiating playlist.
Okay. Yeah, I think everybody wants to know about it, but like I worked at a dealership from 93 to 98 and I was, closing. You work on closing and closing. And then you realize something. For me, I realized that I didn't want to close people anymore. I don't want to say the magic thing to get you to buy from me. I want to buy from people. I want people to buy from me because they want to work with me. And I think that was a magic time in my life when my business got so much better because I was no longer trying to manipulate the sale.
You know what? I think I'm still, unfortunately, well, I don't know, unfortunately or not, I still have to a little bit, I don't want to say manipulate, but I have to paint a vivid picture for my sellers. Why in the hell are they gonna sell me the house for $10? Well, they can go on the list it with a real estate agent and sell it for 50,000.
I
So
have
they have
not
to,
experienced that. Yeah. In my
yeah,
world, it's like I'm gonna give you 3,000 for your car when you can go list it for yourself and try and get 6,000 for it. It's not, it's
you
not the same
can't.
amount of dollars.
Yeah, not the same amount of dollars, but still, there is a big difference there where you're taking the work out of it. You're getting it to us right now. Same for me. We're solving a problem. We're buying a house today.
Well, but you gave me a new one, when people are like, well, what could happen if I want to sell my car on my own? Now I can say, well, the people coming to your house could kill you. I just think that's so funny. I'm not going to say that to anybody. But yeah, man, it's different.
They could. Yeah.
Worst case that happened, you die.
Let me refresh my coffee, brother. 1 second.
Okay, so anyhow, so
Not being consistent. Not being consistent.
oh my goodness. Like it is the number one thing when people ask me, like we do this speaking, I speak at my BNI group, and they ask me, what's your key to success? And I think we all look for, what is it, Ronnie? 20 years you've been doing this. What is it? I'm like, it's
Magic.
consistency. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, man, show up, do the work, take time off, go back to this whole list of things we're talking about on the whiteboard right now, consistently, over and over and over. There's a difference between consistency and insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Consistency is doing the same thing and working towards a goal, So that's it. I love consistency, and so many people aren't.
You know what? It works too, Ronnie. I got to tell you, brother. This YouTube thing, I've only been really focusing on it for about a year and a half. But I'm gonna tell you how consistency has changed my life with this thing, brother. I started doing videos every week last July. I had 1,000 subscribers last July, my brother. Lie to you not. I can pull up the numbers and show it to you.
Wow.
I woke up one day. I said, you know what? What is the number one thing that I can give the world or the universe for free? The best thing I can give the universe is just what I know, just the research that I've done since 2004.
Right.
When I started doing those videos, I remember I listened to Mark Evans say either you're consistent or non-existent. Either you're consistent or non-existent. So I was like, I'm going to do a video once a week. Every week I did it, and what helped me do that was ET, because he got my mind, Eric Thomas, with the no day. He's got a saying that says no days off.
Right.
I did those videos for every week, for a year, man. It just blew up, So consistency works, class. But I didn't. When I started out, I was like, you know what? I'll do this maybe once. You could do this business sometime. I mean, full time, part time, but not sometimes. Sometimes just never works. You just never do it.
No. I think people underestimate consistency. It's just
even with you and I, man. It's like I know I'm going to talk to you Thursday night, or before I might talk to you at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and maybe on your birthday if I get you on the phone.
Right. Well, the thing, it's so easy for me to see. So we're trying to talk to the class. It's like I know that consistency pays off because I look at the bank. I'm like, okay, the work I put in. And we all spend a lot of time looking for other magic ways, and we start drowning in opportunity, which we'll get to later. But just being consistent and doing the hard work daily conditions yourself. I'll tell you a quick story, man. I was at there's a book called Who Owns the Ice House? It's written by, oh my goodness, the author. We paid for this author to come here and speak. And I was at a meeting. Chris, there were 300 people there. I was in a suit. I think it was a tux. And he was talking. And he said, you have to condition yourself to swim upstream. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you got to do it. You know how the salmon swim upstream? He goes, you got to condition yourself as an entrepreneur to continue to swim upstream. And he says, eventually, you'll forget that you're swimming upstream. And I'm going to share this with you. I just about started crying because at that point, I was about 16 years in in my business. And I just put my head down, and my wife was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I have just forgotten how long I've been swimming upstream." I can still
Wow.
feel that energy. It was like, oh my goodness, man. Like you have to condition yourself to swim upstream until you forget you're even doing it.
And swimming upstream is early in the mornings, late nights, doing the crazy stuff you don't want to do, all the paperwork, talking to all the people, making the phone calls. Is that where you're at?
You're leading into the next topic about the time, that underestimating the time. I mean, absolutely, man.
Yes, yes, the time.
I mean,
Underestimated time.
it's very close to my heart, this one, because I've been working on this business for so long that I forget how hard it is. I just don't even realize it, and they have this statement, it takes 20 years to become an overnight success. know. I hope you guys feel me on that one.
Yeah, that was a good one, Ronnie. I forget about it too. It's like you get up at 6 o'clock, you go to work, you get it done. You get it done, right?
That
You
book
just
right
get it
now.
done.
They should check out that book, Who Owns the Ice House?
I like that, Ronnie. Who owns Ice House? You know, my wife asked me, "How do you get up every day? You don't even think about it; you just do it."
Clifton Talbert. His name is Clifton Talbert. We paid him to come speak here because I was on the board of directors for the Black Chamber of Commerce here in the Colorado Springs, and we paid him to come speak to us. Clifton Talbert, Who Owns the Ice House?
That's a
And
nice
that
one.
guy is amazing. He now owns a coffee business, it's a multi-million-dollar coffee business. He's a great entrepreneur.
Nice. So, underestimating the time it takes to be successful or to achieve some, let's just say monetary, because everybody wants to figure out how to make money. Monetary success, Ronnie, underestimating it. Everybody, most of my coaching clients, they say, "How long is it going to take me to get my first deal?"
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know with that face. I'll be like 18 months.
I'm like, you got the wrong mindset. You got the wrong mind. You know what's weird? Because no one ever says, "How long is it going to take for me to go out there and add some value to my community?"
How long is it going to take me to go knock on 1,500 doors and nobody kills me?
They don't say that, Ron.
No, they want the first deal and the money in the bank, right?
Yeah, basically. So it's gonna take time. The world. I always try. The biblical, the good book said the creator of the universe took 7 days. And he can do anything. So why do you think you're gonna have something in the next 30 days, a business that's gonna be supporting your lifestyle? It's just.
I don't like to discount entrepreneurs, though. I had a lady sit down at my desk right here, and she said, "If I come work here, I'm gonna need 10,000 a month." And I'm like, "You can do it. You can do it. I don't. Why are you telling me what you need? I mean, and instead of me trying to discount her and say, well, I don't know if you can make that or not, and I don't know how long it's going to take. Your ambition level, and that's the beautiful thing about being who we are. It's like you, class, could be better than me. I mean, I don't believe I'm the best. I believe I'm really good at what I do, but I don't believe I'm the end all creation of business. I think that some of you in the chat room could generate more income, more wealth, more power, more whatever you're after, just because you apply yourself and are consistent. There's many times I've been what they call complacent. And so I know I've lost lots of opportunities because I didn't have the time or the ambition to go after them. So I don't like discounting that, but the timing aspect of it is much more than what you're going to be. You can't really quantify it. You can't really say, yeah, I'm going to give it this much time. If I don't make it, I'm out. I think that you're just waiting to be out. I think you're all in, right? What did you say earlier? You can't be part-time or you can be part-time or full-time, but you can't be sometime.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'll share this with the class. I got really lucky, guys. I didn't get married till I was 36. I had a kid when I was 30. Actually, I got married when I was 37 because Jude was in the wedding. So I didn't, I spent like from 23 to 36 chasing my dream, which meant if you're in the room now and you're like, hey, I'm not married, I don't have kids, fantastic. Your bills are very low, right? Like keep your bills low because you can continue to chase your dream. That's like real life application stuff. Like if you can keep your bills low, you can continue to chase your dream. The more responsibility you take on, the more people that are counting on you, the more people that are on your boat that you have to pay for, then money becomes more of a priority. So
Yeah. Let's move on to that one too. That's cool how you can segue into this next one. Not understanding cash flow. What is cash flow? Not understanding cash flow.
yeah. Do you know that I forecast out like 6 months of cash flow, dude? I mean, I should probably be at a year, but I usually only look about 6 months out. If you're listening to us today, do you guys do that? Do you forecast where you're at today and forecast out later? Like Chris and I were talking about it. It's like, do you have more when your money's out? Do you have more month left over?
You got more month at the end of the money. That's Jim Rohn. I can't take that one. You got more month at the end of the money. Cash flow. I didn't understand cash flow. I thought having cash meant something, right? The older I'm matriculating in my career, I'm like, dude, having a bunch of cash don't mean nothing.
Cash comes and goes, man.
But I want my viewers and I want class for you to understand this. Matter of fact, tonight I'm gonna do another one where I'm just hanging out. I want you to understand why having cash is irrelevant. Why? Why do you ask? Because of the cash flow quadrant.
Okay.
The cash flow quadrant, E and S, employee, self-employed, business owners, and investors. These are the people that own all the businesses where your money from the E and the S, that money goes like this. That's why you have to understand cash flow. And all the people that are investors here and own real estate, what do? The money flows like that, cash flow. So you have to remember, where in the hell is your cash flowing to? So if you're working here, when you go out to eat, or when you buy a car, or when you buy a house from an entrepreneur like me, or if you go buy a pair of shoes, or some floor tile, or toothpaste,
or a car,
all the money,
or a car,
whatever,
yep.
All, and this is without exception, and this is not Chris talking, this is life. The cash flow quadrant, it flows this way. You got me? So it's like, you have to understand cash flow. You may be an E with $50,000, right? You could be an employee, but you don't have anything flowing to you because all your cash is flowing to the business owners. This is how economy works, how our economy works. So you have to understand cash flow so you can be on the right side so the cash can flow to you. Has to flow to you.
I like it, Chris. And who is the author you can quote on that quadrant?
Well, I don't like to say his name because he didn't invent it. He just was smart enough to copyright it.
Okay.
Kiyosaki copywrote it, so I have to find. Matter of fact, I'm going to find out who invented it because he did not. He bought it from the guy.
Okay. Well, he's a good business guy. I like Kiyosaki.
Yeah. I used to like him until I went to one of his events, man. And if you think you want to learn some real estate, don't go to a Rich Dad Poor Dad real estate class. You ain't gonna learn nothing there. I promise you.
But that's a great way to teach your illustration. You know, looking at shiny things. Your cash flow quadrant. All Kiyosaki does is plants a flag to get your money to flow from the S to the I.
That's true. That's
providing an opportunity to cash flow himself. I mean, like the issue we have, and the reason why you guys are looking at this stuff today is because you want to think higher. You want to get your thinking up so you can be self-dependent. You're not just going to go out tomorrow and go, I'm ready to be a real estate investor. I'm going to go to Kiyosaki thing, spend $15,000, and I'm going to do my first deal.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to work for you.
Mm-hmm. It takes time to build this stuff, but cash flow with any business is king. You know, I just remember I told you my first, I don't call it a record deal, publishing deal, man. We had $200,000, and then 6 months later, I had $80 in the bank, sleeping on somebody's couch. I didn't understand cash flow.
Yeah, I've heard a long time ago that giving a person cash does not make them a better person, and it does not. It can, like the lottery person that just won $1 billion, good luck to them. It's like that's a lot of money to have overnight and not have the wherewithal of the level of being able to use that money for good. I mean, or whatever you want to use it for. But it's
up here. That's right.
Yeah,
it's up here. If you get cash, yeah, man. Unfortunately, I hear that a lot too. A lot of starting entrepreneurs, they say, "I got everything set up. All I need is the money."
Yeah, I hear that too.
I don't know. I don't. We might want to think about that. Because in my experience, Ronnie, when the plan is so rock solid, it's amazing how the money just appears.
It flows in. I mean, you're right. I mean, the money is. Don't get it twisted. You need some, but I mean, um, you can't always be focused on just the dollar. I mean, if you've got a good plan that you can work and be consistent with, the money will come in.
That's our 10 right there, brother Ronnie. That's it.
All right. Well, so good deal.
So we'll see if we have any questions. I don't know if we do, but let's see, guys. If you got any questions, drop it in. If not, I think I'm gonna come back live tonight. That's a lot of things on my mind I want to share. I got my coffee here. Happy Friday. Lakia, what up? Shay. Rosanna, hey.
Oh crap! Look, man, my wife saw that I got these gift cards. She posted in there, so that means all of these gift cards now have to go home to her.
Yes. Rosanna, you have read Motivation Manifesto. Good, very good. Shay, you have Trello also. Boston, sunshine loving life. What if you're trying to get a business going, but you have no one that can help and it's just you? Welcome to that was one of the ones we were talking about last night that we weren't going to do.
Yeah.
Ronnie, she doesn't have anybody to help. It's just her. She's a solopreneur.
She's in South
Carolina. South Carolina. She can't even put her city in.
Can she find a billionaire that won the money in South Carolina?
Oh, man. That'd be something.
Well, you know what? I didn't have anybody either. You know, like when I joined the company that eventually I purchased, it was just, you know, being out there and putting myself out there in a place to be. But I think just because you don't have anybody around you doesn't mean you can't build that team. You can go to the Chamber of Commerce in your town. You can go find other entrepreneurs that are doing other things at business meetings in town. There's a website called meetup.com.
Yep.
There's plenty of people in town like you that are trying to find a way to connect. And that's what you should be doing in my book, is going out and connecting with people that are like-minded, raise your elevation, and you can go out and get it done.
Yeah, go to if you're looking, I don't know what business you're doing. Tell us what business you're doing, Sunshine Loving. But Meetup is a great way just to meet people. And you know, in this, I wanted to stress to you, class, you can tell the success or failure of somebody's business by the numbers. The numbers. And I'm not talking about money. The numbers. How many people have you met? I always ask people, when was the last time you met somebody new? When was the last time you just sat down and said, you know what, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better?
Yeah.
And I can speak from experience. I'm always trying to meet new people because I'm weeding through them. I'm going through them just like a deck of cards. You're doing good. You work some. Oh, okay. I got an ace right here. Bam. I'll set you to the side. Let's go to the next one. Wait. I can tell by the numbers. How many new people are you meeting?
Right.
Yeah. All right. Huh?
I agree. I mean, it's like when you go to, like, just because I told her, the person in South Carolina, you can go to the networking groups. Your goal isn't to put a business card in everybody's hand. That's what, you know, like Ivan Meisner, Chris, has this thing. He's like, he got a stage for 500 people in there. And he did this thing, Chris. He's like, how many of y'all here to sell something today? And everybody's like, woo. And then he goes, all right. How many of y'all here to buy something? And it was like crickets. Like, he's like, y'all are here to sell your services and products, right? He goes, but you got to deepen the relationships. He goes, go in that room in South Carolina at the next networking event you can and plan to meet 5 people that you want to connect at a deeper level with. Get their card. And then you do the follow-up with them to find out about them. Give into their life. And then when you're invited and they're going to be like, well, how can I help you? Okay, well, I'm trying to get my business off the ground, but I don't have people around me to help elevate me. And okay. And so you can start to grow those relationships that way. It's much more important than going out and just selling your stuff.
Yep. All right, I got an hour and 15 minutes in here. Just started my own business. June Assassin, just started my own business, and it was so hard to start out with the money, the work, and not to mention the manpower. But if you want it, you can have it. You can't avoid what's already ours. I like that. You're claiming it. Good. He's in Colorado, Ronnie.
He's in Colorado? All right. Yeah. I like that too.
Hey, Beezer, what's up? Yes, we're at 18,000. Rashida, I need a bigger whiteboard. Yeah, I need a bigger white. Yeah, I'm working on that right now. Sorry. Gift cards. Oh, your wife. Hey.
I can't even go use them.
Hey, Carlos. Thanks for coming. Kimberly. We're from the same cloth. Yes. You email me logical thinking. You emailed me about a lease last week. Can you get back with me? Okay, I'll check on that. Anybody that's emailing me, please just bear with me. You know, I mean, if I could, I could. If I had the time, I would email. I could stay on email all day. I mean, I could answer emails all day. I think that's it, Ronnie. No more questions. Hold on, let me see. I don't think you should have to beg someone to work with you. That's true. Did the lady make the $10,000 per month? Did she make her $10,000 a month? Luxury card store wants to know, did she make the $10,000 a month, Ronnie?
What was I talking about?
You said somebody wanted to come work for you, but she had to make $10,000 a month.
Oh, she's not working here. That was just like I was talking to, I don't know. I can't answer that question if she is or not, but she was telling me what she needed. And I was like,
Oh,
you
that's what she needed.
can get it if you want to, but yeah, I mean, that was a different type of situation. I just didn't want to discount her ability. Like, I think we find people like, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. I don't know if you can.
Yeah,
And I think that that's something we all do is we're like, oh, you can't do it, but maybe she can.
that's right. AB's is telling young people, build your career before you get married and have kids. Oh my goodness.
Kids they come out naked and hungry.
Victoria Powell, forecast more often now, especially since I'm considering getting into the business. Yes, you got to forecast. I mean, or you're done. Victoria, she's in Dallas. Hey, Cal, what up, dog? Create cash flow with OPM. Yes, you can do that with flawless investments. I don't want you or anybody using OPM unless you know exactly what you're doing. OPM is very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. I don't want you screwing up other people's money. I don't care if you mess up your money, but yeah, OPM is the way to go. Ronnie, last thoughts, final thoughts. Take us out of here, then we're gone.
These are just mistakes we wanted to share with you guys today, because when we look back on our lives, Chris and I, it's fun to talk about the mistakes we made and how we actually rectified those situations and sometimes how long it took to learn a lesson. So when you're building your business, if you learn anything today, I'm happy for you. I hope that it works for you if it's about time management or consistency or cash flow. And if you find yourself to be weak in these areas that we're talking about, then go read up on it. There's lots of information. You could just YouTube and lay on your couch and listen to it. So I hope it helped today because I enjoyed making the mistakes. I like to do it the hard way, and some of you will too. But I think that if I always look for people that have made mistakes that I can avoid. So hopefully we were helpful today.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Ronnie.
Well,
Final
sure.
words. Before I get out of here, please make sure you subscribe. Is it right? Yeah. Oops. Sorry. Subscribe to my channel, guys. Don't forget to hit my brother's channel up too. You can throw it up there, Ronnie, if you want, real quick before we get out of here. Subscribe to our channel, like the content so we can get optimized. I'm gonna drop my final words on you in a minute. I got so much to share. I mean, my brain is just busting with stuff I want to share that I've learned since 2004. You can get more than you got. I was doing my Jim Rohn the other day. You can get more than you got, Jim Rohn. What I don't like about being an entrepreneur is focusing on myself. I don't like the fact that when I want something more, I want to do more. Like I got a beast of a rental portfolio that cranks out every month. I don't do any repairs. It's great. I'm blessed. But once you get to a certain level, you don't have to, but I'm focusing on the next level of my life. We want to do some 7 and 8 figure stuff, 6 figures is we've mastered that craft. We've mastered that craft. I have to focus on myself, and it kind of is overwhelming for me to realize that I know in order for me to get more, I have to become more. In order for me to get more, I have to become more. And it's very sobering and daunting to think that I have to go out there and learn more if I want to get more. I really don't like the fact, I wish I could just write a check and it just poof, automatically I can buy more houses. The sobering thing for me that I struggle with, Ronnie, is in order for me to get more, I have to become more. I don't like that part about being a business owner. But we all have to focus on that, and hopefully you can do that. Just learn how to become more. What can I do? What can I read? Who can I call? Master those.
That's amazing. Okay. I like it. Here's my channel if you guys want to subscribe to it. I'm going to put it up on the screen. That's my YouTube channel right there.
Throw it up.
You can't click on it right there, but just Google Ronnie Haskins. And if you want to subscribe to it, I would love it. and we're going to be bringing more content onto that channel as well.
Yeah, man. Subscribe to my brother's channel. Okay, guys. I love you. I will see you soon. Matter of fact, if you subscribe to the bell, I think I'm going to come back tonight after I have a few of my cosmos. I'm going to have me a cosmopolitan. I got about 10 things I want to just share with the universe that have been on my mind for quite a while, Ronnie. A lot of mistakes I made. Just about a lot about this cash flow stuff. I've been really wanting to share with people because a lot. You know, I coach people around the world, around the country, and I see people looking for big chunks of cash, and that's just not the way to win the game. You never win Monopoly, Ronnie, by selling. My mentor was like, "You can't win Monopoly. You sold it. You
You have
can't
to buy it
win.
all. You have to keep the person with all of it in the end wins the game.
You can't." I'm like, everybody's cash. You know, it's just irrelevant. All right, I'll
Love
see
you,
you
bro.
guys soon. Huh?
I love you, bro.
Love you too. I'll talk to you soon, dog.
Later, guys.